Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. R.A., what happened?
Things. Not a talking episode. A doing episode. Esri and Pog met up at the epicenter and led the children's to Casa de Bright Doom, and Pog and Donabella primarily rescued Mama Bright Doom, and she got a little bit healed it up, and they returned headed back towards the school. Meanwhile, Shade was still directing the vermin in apparently a rather successful campaign of search and rescue. So, which we had quite a discussion about afterwards, trying to figure out what exactly was the process that people went through to determine that they trusted these rats. Something happened. We didn't see it.
You've never read The Amazing Maurice and His Intelligent Rodents, which is a wonderful Terry Pratchett book about smart rats.
And Ari was also on his way to that district with some help from some mercenarios, and maybe or maybe not had promised something in return to heap up on the stack of favors that Ari does owe other people. So here we are, meeting back up near or at the school.
Indeed. So, you all reunite at the school, still in the midst very much of crisis. So, over the course of the next several hours, now that you are all together, what actions is House Tarkanan taking as an entity to help the District of Cross deal with the immediate aftermath of this enormous earthquake? You guys have been doing a lot of rescue operations, but obviously there's a whole lot more that's now a problem after an event like this. So what does House Tarkanan do in order to mitigate the problems of post-earthquakedom? That was a great sentence.
Well grammared, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What time frame are we talking about? Hours or days?
Mostly the remainder of that day. And probably into the night, I would imagine a lot of this.
Well,
I would imagine there's not a lot of good sleep going on.
Esri is ministering health-wise, I think, is probably the best thing he could do. Traditionally, probably more than anything, rather than magically.
Yeah.
Cool. Ari would be going to talk to people about anybody that's still missing, but also trying to clear roadways, because if the Stormlords are going to be sending out any kind of concerted carts for assistance and things like that, the roads would obviously need to be cleared for them to be able to access the district. So trying to find people, but also trying to clear off roads and points of access into the district.
Yeah, for Pog, it would be a lot of rubble clearing as well, after, assuming Thora didn't take issue with it, carrying anyone that needed Esri's help up the stairway to the island and having them in our front garden area, up on the grounds proper, but having that be a safe and important, after the way you described things post-earthquake, a very solid kind of ground, so they could be laying out, families regather, and after having carried everyone up those stairs that needed it, joining Ari in the clearing of rubble, just continuing to be the big guy lifting things.
Ari needs that. So.
Ari's more management material.
Yeah. Somebody has to supervise to make sure that the things are getting done. So,
Trying to leave the school and become a city employee. I see you. I see you.
Shade would be helping with the efforts on the school's island. I think that being on a floating island and therefore not affected by the earthquake, being able to have places for families together, a safe place for families together and reunite and get some rest on solid ground. Is a floating it is still solid ground.
The ground part of it is.
Right.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because the floating island is substantially more attached than it was when you left. Shade had already observed that a whole lot of roots had stretched themselves out and worked their way around that building that is y'all's stairway, and were holding it. It was sort of leaning drunkenly, but holding it up. And that has kind of expanded by the time that you all returned to the area of the school after rescuing Mrs. Brightdoom, where a number of other buildings in the vicinity are held by roots coming out from the island, and in other ways roots have embedded themselves into the streets below the school. So that the school is still floating, but rather more tethered than it used to be.
So if it hasn't happened on its own already, Esri might just direct Shade to maybe go check in with River. Just go see what's happening there.
There are many reasons that Shade is up on the island at this point. That's part of it.
has Thora come back yet?
Yes, Thora has would have refound you all by the time you were there. She's white with dust, and has a couple of minor injuries, but she also comes back leading a string of people, and has been trying to organize rescue efforts much the same way that you all have.
Okay.
But yes, Thora is accounted for. If someone's actually going to check on River, we can do that.
Yes, I would.
Okay. So approaching the grove, you would notice, among other things, that there are a lot of birds in the trees. You, Shade, and Esri also observed this. You observed that, not at all surprisingly, right before the earthquake hit, basically the jungle birds around the city just took off into the sky. I don't know why you're making that face, Eric. This is like a normal, natural phenomenon.
No.
That happens before
I know.
stuff like this.
I know.
What are you talking- Okay.
I'm just imagining
live on
all
an
of the jungle
aviary.
birds at our house now. That's what I'm making a face about.
Quite a lot of them. Yes.
That's
quite
the
a lot.
concern.
There
Not
you
that
go.
the birds
Yeah.
flew, yes, but that they were headed
Yeah.
to us.
Quite a lot of birds are perched in the trees of the grove.
So loud. So loud.
It is, yes, it is loud, and the trees are large and spreading. And when you walk into the grove, Shade, there is a in the Lord of the Rings films where they're in the wood with the Ents and the trees all sound like they're kind of making whale song. There's just this constant sort of sound. It's kind of like that.
Huh.
All right.
Huh.
Cool. And I see River there.
Would you like to try to find River?
I would.
Cool. Make a perception check.
I would be happy to roll. I would also be announcing my approach.
Okay.
Perception for 24.
It doesn't take you very long. Deeper in the grove than usual, you find River. She is seated, cross-legged on a thick branch that definitely has an unnatural shape in it to create a very stable seat. She is her eyes are very dim, and her hair is sort of floating around like static electricity. And her hands are just resting on the branch next to her, and on the trunk of the tree that she's sitting in. And she's just sort of swaying very, very slowly.
I have speak with animals. And so on my approach, I would like to I don't want to in any way startle River. And so on my approach, seeing all the birds, I would have cast speak with animals and welcome. I'm so glad you found a safe space from that earthquake. You are all welcome here, and as long as River's okay with it, I'm glad you're okay. As I'm making my way into the grove, and then once there, spotting River, softly at first, but just, hey River, are you okay?
River doesn't answer you at first, and then very slowly the glow comes back into her eyes, and hello, Shade, she says in Sylvan.
You've been busy during this earthquake and afterwards, as I see all the roots. Thank you for sort of anchoring our island more.
There were a lot of animals scared in the city, and they needed a way up.
That was so nice of you. Thank you for doing that and helping them. Are you feeling okay?
I haven't been connected to the ground here before. It is different. I think I am okay.
Different in what way?
It's bigger. There's a lot more of it underneath now. And there are a lot of old things under there. More than under here.
It is. The ground down there is very different than up here. It looks like you've done some powerful things. Do you feel like you?
Yeah, yes. I don't feel that I am not me.
Okay.
I feel tired, I think is the right word. I don't think I've ever been tired like this before.
Have you used this much magic before?
I haven't felt this many things before at once.
No, feeling things makes me really tired too. There are going to be some people that you don't know on the island. I don't know if you've noticed them already. You've been very busy. But we're going to invite them here to stay for a little bit if they need some time in a place. You don't have to interact with them at all. But sometimes people act weird and go places they shouldn't, and so people may wander into your grove. I just wanted to let you know about that.
Will they leave the trees alone?
They most certainly should.
That will be all right then.
Okay. I will let them know not to touch the trees, and I'll come back out here when I'm done, and I'll stay with you. But it's okay to rest. You have a lot of your bird friends. You made this lovely place for them. And so I think you are very well watched over.
I think so.
Do you need anything?
She looks up. There is a lot of stuff. Dust and smoke. And the sun isn't getting through as well. But you can't fix that, can you?
I can see what I can do. I'm not very good with dust and moving things like that, but maybe I can find someone who can. Esri might be able to move it, but it would be really super slow.
All right. Are you okay?
I think so. I am also very tired. There's there's a lot of people, and I'm glad we're safe, but I'm a little bit worried about them.
Because they're not safe, or because they're not safe?
Well, because they're not safe, as in some people might be hurt, but also there's a lot of people on our island, and I want to help them, but also that makes me a little bit worried.
Do you want to stay out here?
I will very much. Yes.
That would be alright. The trees would tell me if someone was coming.
That's really neat. That's so cool that y'all talk. Okay. I'm gonna go see if there's more things I can do to help. And I look up at the birds. And I just...
They're all watching you.
Excellent. So she looks up at all of the birds, and seeing that they're looking down back at her. This probably doesn't need to be said, but just to make sure, she is very important, and I would appreciate it very much if you would just make sure she's okay and watch over her.
Several of the birds nod.
Awesome.
Also, it's lights out at 9:30. Keep it down after that point.
Aviary quiet hours.
Jesus. Ari liked to sleep with his window open, but...
Tonight might be the first night the ocelot spins inside. I officially have a house cat. Now Thor's gonna be pissed.
Okay. Anything else specific from the remainder of the day?
I mean, Ari would have gone to check in with Thora and ask, like, where'd she go? Any help needed? Yada yada yada. But that's
Just around the town. I thought people just needed to be out and helping. There's a lot of people in trouble and trapped and hurt. And just doing what I can. The watch isn't equipped for this, and from what I've gathered, the Iron Watch are have managed to secure the area around the Stormlord's palace, and House Dineth has secured the Dragonmarked facilities around Silverwall, but there's still a lot of chaos. I think there was a substantial fire over at the Thrash refinery, which is in Cross, you would know.
yeah.
I think they've got it under control, but I don't know. I don't know how bad it was.
So you don't know if anyone was hurt.
It's the middle of a work day. I imagine it was full of workmen.
Since they were around helping out, Ari begins looking for... Sorry, Philip, my notebook's back there, and I don't have the name. The young half-orc boy that was friends with Donabella, whose dad works at that facility. Bajak. Ari starts looking for Bajak as he walks away from that conversation with Thora.
Bajak is following Cadric and Donabella and Ilya and Levexi as Kadric strolls very self-importantly around
Of course.
the collection of people who are kind of encamped on the island, checking in and letting them know the rules and things like that. Seeing if they have any quests.
Ari walks up and walks up to him and waves at Bajak and, hey, buddy, where, and forgive me if we already know this. Does Bajak also live with his mom? Like, is it a nuclear family situation, or is it just him and his
Yes.
dad? Okay. Hey, buddy, have you checked in with your mom yet since all this happened?
She and my dad went to the refinery to help with the fire after the earthquake started.
Okay. So your dad wasn't working today?
He's working every day, but he wasn't at the main building. He was when it started.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I had heard about the fire and wanted to make sure that your dad was okay. So I just wanted to come check in. And
he was when I saw him. And
okay.
They left, and so then I went out to see what I could do, and found Kadric. And
Y'all been doing great. Thanks for your help. But if you need any help getting home or anything, just let us know. I know that you all are more than capable, but we're always here to help and look out for each other. So
thank you.
Yeah, of course. And Ari kind of nods and then just walks away, unsure how to end a conversation with a child. So,
Well, see you later.
If I can piggyback on what Eric's doing there, Shade would love to see the Rebel Warren gang taking on the social aspect of checking on people and communicating the rules. And she would ask them to communicate that one of the rules is don't go to the Grove.
yeah. Add that to the list. And
Right.
From any tree you can eat, but from...
Kadric turns to Bajak, who's got a what looks like quite a nice writing tablet that he probably took from his dad's desk, and says, "Add that to the list." And Bajak writes it down at the end of a fairly lengthy list. We'll make sure that nobody messes with the Grove.
Thank you.
That's an
Also,
awesome
is the
quest
imminent
name,
danger.
Grove Guardian.
Ari would. Once the imminent danger has dissipated, Ari would also go thank the members of the Swords of Karn and the Knights of Thrain who came and helped, and kind of send them back, thank them for their efforts, but they certainly don't need to hang around now that the danger has passed. So,
Lady Taurus takes her troop of knights back. The Swords of Karn, when you tell them that, they say, "We appreciate it. General Thule said we should hang around and just watch the streets, make sure nobody gets into any looting or anything like that. So we'll be around for a little while."
all right, appreciate that, and send my thanks back to General Thule once you all head back that way.
Yeah, there should be a patrol change about midnight, so we'll.
Okay.
We'll let
Ari
you know then.
really doesn't like this now. Yep. Nope. Gonna have to have a tough conversation. Not sure with who yet, but
The man in the mirror.
Solid.
Inspiration, all right, inspiration.
Hey. The only other thing that Esri is, it's really back before probably any of this, but just
That's okay.
making sure that the children were deposited in someone else's jurisdiction.
Good old
Donabella
Arlo.
immediately attaches herself to the Rebel Warren gang. It seems like Mo and Pip would really dig the Rebel Warren gang. I don't know about Kara and Nasaria.
It would only depend on how much Nasaria would be able to boss them around, and that seems like very little chance. So,
Have a
You're-
power
Although they
struggle
are
with
on a
magic.
task, they are on a task of bossing people. Like that is the task they've laid themselves
Valid.
to is
Valid.
bossing the new people around. I'm now imagining Cadric and Nasaria arguing about which rules go on the list.
I was just picturing that Nasaria had a critiques for the list that he had created.
She already has a list of rules. She's been working on a handbook for the school.
Ew.
Oh my gosh.
Ew.
So if this is the case, then anytime any of them approach whatever medical triage area that has been set up, Ezri is just every time, nope. Which I assume is probably every 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, every now and again, Cadric comes over. You need rare herbs or anything? Like, fetched from the jungle?
To Ezri?
No? Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just if he approaches. Just no,
Yeah.
no.
Great with kids. love this. At the same time that Ari has determined things are winding down and are settled, will be the time that, after having kept an eye during the activities, Pog is going to make sure he takes a cup of water over to Mrs. Brightdoom, to wherever she's sitting, laying, resting, and hand it to her, and not speaking, sit next to her, and just give the softest hug, and just hold for a good minute, and then just ask, are you okay?
I think so. Ezri healed me. I don't remember much after the roof fell in. A little bit dazed, but I don't think I'm badly injured.
No, that's the Ezri can help with that part. I don't mean body okay.
Never seen anything like this happen. I don't really know what to make of it. Are you all right?
This
Pog?
is very scary for me. This is a lot of people lost in one place. And I don't want to lose anymore.
She puts her arm around you. Look at all these people up here. You and your friends. Doing a good job. people who need it. Can't be everywhere, but you're being there for the people you can reach. It's really all any of us can do, I think, when everything goes wrong.
Pog just hangs his head and sits in the silence of that for a moment. It's a really hard job when it's not. When you helping innocent people is a lot harder than hurting bad people. And this was way scarier for me than fighting bad guys. It's just a hard job is all. And he softly takes her hand but I should see what else. I was just making sure you're okay. And he's gonna stand.
She doesn't follow you, but she puts a hand up on your forearm as you stand up. Pog. Very brave. Thank you. How's Solarka? You checked on Solarka?
That's what I'm going to find out next. Okay. Bye. And he's just going to turn and walk. To let whichever of the strike force he sees first know that he's going to go check on Solarka and the market. And
no.
Doesn't need to be alone.
Pog.
Pog turns and just walks the other direction.
Oh, for the best.
Well done.
Aww.
Well done.
I mean, if Pog approaches Ari has a great deal of affection for Solarka and the rest of the fam, so Ari would want to go make sure that that Hular's okay, especially. So, but
okay. So the two of you take off into the city. It's very different. It's less chaotic in a lot of ways, in that things are not collapsing at this point, and the part of the city that you're heading into seems to be a little bit quieter, but you are heading towards more toward the center of things as you go inland, and so the damage is substantially worse in inland, especially anywhere in the path of the collapse of the Falconer's Tower, which has just gone over and laid a excuse me.
get choked up just thinking about it.
Destruction. I know. Laid a swath of destruction in its path. But the two of you do manage to cross the city into the market. In the market, you come upon an interesting scene. There are a whole lot of ogres and half giants and Goliaths, as well as a number of hill giants, working on clearing rubble not far from throughout the marketplace, but not far from Black Iron. You can see Hular and his sons are engaged in the work. as is Solarka working alongside her family.
Pog will go straight up to her and say, "You all right? You're good?"
She turns, and you can see that there's a substantial, but not like closed, burn across her upper chest and collarbone. Yes, I think we are
What happened?
trying to. Well, after you left, I thought that somebody should go do something about that elemental that broke loose. So I went.
That's so badass. I'm sorry. I'm going to return to the moment, but that's so badass.
There was an elemental?
Yes, there was. We haven't really talked a whole lot as a group. Surprisingly. So you followed after it?
Yes, it was very easy to follow. I just followed the path of things that were on fire.
It's usually how I get found. I just don't. I understand your frustration with me a whole lot right now in this exact moment. You make so much sense to me.
Inspiration.
I'm glad you're okay.
This, by the way, this is the sort of adventure that means you cannot tell someone ahead of time for.
Yep.
That's what this is.
Yes.
But yes, the fire elemental is taken care of. Golranak and some of the giants from the tents have come in and are helping. And the Titans have been showed up and have been assisting with cleanup. You would know the Titans are one of the gangs in Stormreach, mostly made up of Goliaths and ogres.
Terrifying. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
After a breath and a quick attempt at a kiss on the cheek, Pog is going to say, where do you need us? Where can I help?
We are digging through the rubble for survivors.
Okay. Pog goes back to picking stuff up.
Ari would use his detect thoughts ability to find people so that they're not just digging up rubble that doesn't need to be dug up.
Nice.
As you are
Thanks.
Helping, at some point, you would see Golranak standing off to one side, having a conversation with another of the druids of Rushame, a drow. Golranak is crouched down to talk, and they're going back and forth quite a lot. And after a while, you see the drow turn and storm off.
Regardless of social cues, Pog would have no problem with someone he recognized and walking over to say hi and offer a fist bump. Hi, Golranak. Thank you for helping.
Hello. You got to punch his fist. He's just going to hold his arm out like that.
We've done this.
And she looks and leans down and lays the pad of her thumb over your fist.
Love it.
Good to see you. Thank you for helping.
It is good in its own way, I suppose.
Everything okay over in your all's neck of the woods?
Oh yes, the earth moves, but tents do not collapse in the same way. And when they do, we just put them back up.
Fair enough. Appreciate the help. Everything okay with your drow friend?
He does not believe we should be here. He believes this is the Durashka tool, the madness of crowds, finally falling on Stormbreach.
Would Ari have heard of the Durashka toll?
Yes, I believe
She told us about that.
I believe it's come up one before.
Right,
I
okay,
think she
okay.
told you about it. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, Ari wasn't there.
Okay.
Ari's a smart guy, though.
But sure. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you would be aware of the Droshka tool, this belief that any large urban population in Zendrick is cursed and will ultimately be destroyed, and it usually ends in a wave of murderous madness.
Do you have any kind of lead on a source? I was under the impression that the Droshka tool wasn't natural disasters, as it were. It was manufactured destruction.
It ends that way. It does not always begin that way.
I see.
Sometimes,
What do you think?
I hope it is only an earthquake. Sometimes Rushime, in order to restore balance, lets in the jungle. But I hope this was only an earthquake.
Me too.
This was a lot scarier of a conversation than I expected it would be. If it was that, should you not still be helping people?
There are people among my folk who believe that it is better to leave nature to take its course. That to save Stormreach would be tantamount to rescuing a rabbit from a wolf.
What if the rabbit's really cute, though?
The wolf must eat.
Yeah.
Just the ugly rabbits.
We should return to helping.
I agree.
Yes, fair
Definitely. Yep. Definitely agree.
She heads off. It's about that point that your communicators sound with Thora's voice. I need you all back at the school. Someone tell Esri.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it.
He's in the medicine place. He's right there with you, but he'll probably tell you no first.
I was going to make that joke, Thora, and you dang it.
So, Shade, you would also hear that.
Pog is going to go back to Salarka and let her know that he's got to go back to the manor, and he doesn't know why. But he's been summoned away.
And Thora sounds annoyed.
You too.
Shade would grab Esri and ask the Vermin Army to continue their work in her absence.
One of the mice stands up and salutes.
Amazing.
Oh, grotesque. I love it.
I offer it some food.
Pocket cheese, which you just have.
You gotta always have snacks, Pog.
Who you telling, sister?
When Ari sees Esri as we're headed back to the school, Ari walks up to Esri and kind of holds his hand out and manifests a shadowy, like darker approximation of a communicator, and like it like solidifies out a shadow in his hands. Like, I haven't done this. I knew that I could, but it never seemed necessary until this point. And Ari hands Esri an eerie token that is part of his Hexblade racial feature. When Esri and Ari are within 10 miles of each other, Ari can spend an action to send a message to Esri.
Pretty cool.
Nifty.
Is it solid?
Yeah, it solidifies. It's a physical... Listen, the actual flavor is like a lock of hair or a fingernail or something, but I didn't want to be like... Or one of my teeth, but I'm not going to be gross and be like, hey, here's an incisor.
No, I think Esri's just disappointed that it's solid. He was really hoping for like a fistful of goo.
Creepy. I like it.
You're welcome.
How many favors do you owe for this?
I think it's just par for the course. Just a heads up, though, just because I don't want to be weird and not tell you about this, I can also enter a trance and see through that thing. I promise I won't, but I'm letting you know that I could if I needed to. So if you ever get kidnapped, it might come in handy. But, yeah, so that's also a function of it that I could do.
That is good to know. It will probably stay in a pocket, so feel free. It's not going to be much to see.
Weird.
Got it. Okay.
Weird.
If I give this one away to
As you-
somebody, are you going to get real mad and... Or can you just, like, pff, it away? Is this like a one-time piece of your soul that you just gave me? Or can you just, like, do this as you... This is new. I haven't seen you make things from smoke.
Yeah, it's new for me too. At least according to my understanding of it, basically I can't do it again until I finish sleep. So, but yeah, that's.
Because see, I have this thing about gifts. You know, like when you give it to me, it's mine to do with as I please. That's how I see things, and I just.
Guys, we are all in here except for you two. What is happening? You were right there with us.
I guess thank you. It's very. I appreciate it because
You're welcome.
I don't get the messages anymore, and I don't.
Yep. So
I don't know if y'all are like talking to each other all the time, or
this
or
is
like maybe
once
never,
again.
I just don't know.
It's a one-way deal. 25 words. It's a one-way message. So it's like in a pinch, I can get in touch with you, but it's not a communicator.
Oh wait, can I? I can't go back. I can't talk to you with it.
Nope. I can only talk to you. You cannot respond.
Oh. Well, that's still good.
Better than nothing.
As you approach the school, I guess Pog and Shade first. As you approach the school, you notice Kolos is standing by the door of the school.
Oh no.
Hello, nurse.
Not making the same connection that Colin did, Pog will just go, "Oh, hey,
Pog.
how are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you're okay. You come on, we've done this. We're every time we see each other."
Where's the axe?
Oh,
I
close.
don't have it
I've
on
seen
me
you in like 70 episodes.
anymore.
Anymore? What does that mean?
Well,
What did you do with my axe, Pog?
actually, I didn't do anything with your axe. It's the fact that my axe. Let's be clear before I talk anymore. That's my axe.
Was.
Yeah, that's true. Shut up. And also, that's true. I didn't do anything. It got left. It didn't. I couldn't have it on my costume, and so
You lost it?
No.
You lost Fury's Edge.
Nope. No.
We know where it is.
Exactly. Ish.
Well, we know where we left it.
Mostly.
Where
You know where it
is
was a
Fury's
couple
Edge?
weeks ago.
Why with the not shutting up right now? I asked one thing. All of a sudden you want to talk. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I'm working on
Where did you leave my axe?
in another part of the world.
Did you forget the
It's
name?
not close.
I remember this name.
Okay, say this one thing and then go back to shut up.
Troll Import.
There. In Trollenport.
Who has it?
The bad guys. That aren't bad guys, I don't think. They might be.
There's a very, very bull-like snort from his nostrils. Who has the axe,
The government.
Pog? Which one?
I don't know what we were doing there. I chased a bat to a train.
Ari, what was the embassy?
And there was a
It
costume
got left
party.
at the Ondarian embassy in Trollenport.
There it is.
Fine.
So Ondarian.
But I'm working on getting in touch with people to get my things back. So you'll get to see it next time if I get it back.
in Pog's
made a
defense, it
replacement.
wasn't his fault.
I said you could say one thing.
Was that a group thing?
Nope.
Or am I
You
allowed to
keep
speak?
going, Ari, because that was a good one. It's you.
We were on a mission.
Why?
Things went sideways.
Yep.
We saved a lot of people. Stopped a vampire that was wreaking havoc.
2.
And yeah, so listen, sure, 2 vampires.
Why are you asking about this tonight? Why
The city is falling apart.
Have it on you.
No,
Yeah, what can we do for you, Kolos? Hi, by the way. We're on our way to a meeting, but we're more than happy to chat for a second.
She's in there waiting for you.
Oh, good.
so I didn't have to have any of. All right, well,
Bye.
good to see you then. I guess this is.
Are you joining us, Kolos? Or?
No, I brought her.
Oh,
The city's gone mad.
fair enough.
Who are we talking
Thank
about?
you, Kolos. We'll be in touch.
I'm very unhappy with this conversation, so I will see you when I see you. And Pog walks inside.
Leans back
This was
against
fun.
the wall. Going into the school, you find as you go in, you can see that a whole lot of tables and things have been pulled out into the foyer. Mrs. Brightdoom is managing a lot of the people who have come up onto the island, who are helping her cook a whole lot of food out of your kitchen.
Good.
She looks up and sees you and says, Mrs. Tavine is in the library.
Thank you, Mrs. Brightdoom.
In the library, you see Thora sitting across from Kiris Selshadra.
Hey, Jalare.
Hello. Good to see that you're okay, Stormlord Selshadra.
Yes, I am here.
Indeed you are.
I need you all to do something for me. It can wait as long as tomorrow morning if you have perhaps been active today, according to Thora. There is a problem and the Watch is occupied in managing the deeply inconsiderate behavior of the city at the moment.
Ari knows politicking well enough to not say anything, so... Oh, she's talking about the city as... Okay, sorry. Continue.
Do you
Yes.
mean the people or the earthquake?
A combination of the two. The earthquake is an inconvenience, and many people are behaving unreasonably and inconveniently as a result of the earthquake, rather than cooperating with efforts to restore order. People are panicking and looting and various other highly inconvenient activities, and the City Watch is simply insufficient to the task. I do not have any
How can we
particular
help?
desire to see House Dinnith maintaining law and order beyond the Dragonmarked enclaves.
Same.
There is a fissure.
Again, physical or metaphorical here?
I think physical.
Pog leans over to Ari for the explanation.
It is probably...
Crack in the ground.
There are probably also many metaphorical fissures that have been widened by the crisis, although crises sometimes, I am given to understand, heal metaphorical fissures by causing people to imagine themselves slightly more alike in their suffering.
I don't think you would come
But
to
in
us
this
for a
case-
metaphorical fissure.
That is correct. In this case, I am speaking of a physical fissure that has opened as a result of the earthquake.
Although I
Where?
also don't know what we can do about that.
It is under the net. nest.
Okay.
I do not expect you to be able to do anything about the fissure itself, but 28.5% of the time when a fissure opens in the city limits, some sort of monstrosity crawls out and wreaks havoc. I would like to forestall this, as it would be a highly inconvenient time to have to battle a monster in the city streets. So it would be useful on your part if you would go into the fissure and ensure that that is not going to happen. Explore, ensure that there is no incoming danger as a result. It is probable that numerous members of the Wayfinders Foundation may also be somewhere in the fissure. Recovery of them might net you economic benefit in the long run, but it is of only mild concern to me.
Okay, go in the fissure. Make sure nothing's going to come out of it. And
Yeah.
once we have the all clear, come back. All right. Headmistress Tavine, is everything square on your end in terms of us doing this?
This is exactly the sort of thing that we talked about doing. The city's in trouble.
Yep.
We can do something to help. I know you've all done a lot, and I would recommend that you rest before attempting this, just as you don't know what's down there.
Fair.
Have you been in a crack in the ground before?
Who are you directing that question to?
Thora?
Well, I suppose there's lots of things that could be described as a crack in the ground that I've been underground in exploring ruins and other
Us too.
underground facilities and that sort of thing.
True. Yeah.
Did not go well.
I've not had any reason to go into the Undercity.
It's terrible.
We have.
Yeah. We.
That's my understanding, but I'm hoping that you're competent enough to handle it.
Okay. Yeah.
Before
Also,
we head
I've
out,
had the previous occasion explained to me by you before. Please do not take any of the children.
Yep.
Okay.
Good note.
Note taken. Before we head out, just when you have a little bit of downtime, Thora, I do need to discuss aftermath stuff going on, but just before we head out.
Fair enough. Anything urgent?
No, just a developing situation.
Right. I imagine there's a lot of those.
Yes. And Ari telepathically says, I just don't want to discuss it around Selshadra.
She nods.
Well, we better go rest up.
Do you
I
really
suppose.
have
The
200
city-
fissure data points to base your percentage off of?
Yes. The city is constructed on many layers of prior construction. The entire thing is extremely unstable.
Oh,
Ruins on ruins on ruins on ruins.
Yes, and I believe, based on Wayfinder Society surveys, a substantial network of hive tunnels as well.
Great. Well, we will report what we find.
Very well. Then I will return. There are far too many people here.
Be seeing you, Stormlord Selshadra.
She slides off the chair, walks out of the house, nods to Kolos, who kneels down, and Selshadra scrambles up and into a backpack-like harness that he's wearing. and Kolos sets off at a trot.
Wow. Once Selchadra is gone, Ari turns to Thora and addressing everyone else. Okay, we might have a bad situation with the Swords of Karn going on. Thule sent some people to help with the recovery at my request,
Right.
and they're not leaving now. They're going to set up a...
Right.
I told them, hey, we got this, and they said, oh, we'll stay around, keep an eye out. And I was like, oh, great. Well, when you head back, and then they mentioned a patrol change for tonight, so they're not leaving in spirit. Some of them will physically leave, replaced by others. So that's not great.
Unfortunately, probably a problem for another day. I don't see us
Yes, I just wanted to make
resolving
you
it
aware
tonight.
of the situation. Yeah.
Understood.
Also, I don't want to make them super angry, but yeah.
Right.
Also, just in case
Well,
Any further insight you can give us on this?
nobody
Go ahead.
noticed, the Grove is also now a refuge for all of the animals from the forest.
For birds. So many birds. It's so
There
loud
are-
up here.
Yeah,
Also, by the way.
birds. It's not just birds.
Oh,
I suppose as long as they aren't harming anyone, I can't think of a legitimate
Yet.
reason to complain about birds roosting in trees or animals in the grove, as long as they aren't a danger to the children.
As long as the children aren't a danger to them.
Yes, that as well, but different kinds of animals might perceive the children as a danger depending on certain circumstances. That
I'm gonna stay there tonight.
I appreciate that. Rivers, all right. I tried to check on her, but I could not find her.
She is really tired. So she's gonna rest, but she's not blue. So that seems good.
Good. Right. And I think that's where we're going to leave this episode. So we'll pick up next week and find out, that everything is completely fine. It's
Will we?
just a naturally occurring fissure, a common side effect of seismic activity.
Mhm.
And everything will be just fine.
At least 72% of the time, it's normal.
As long as there aren't any
72%
political,
of the time, a
71.5.
monster doesn't.
as long as there aren't any political factions down there, we'll be okay.
That's fair. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so in comments or in the links in the description below to our various social media. You can also find a link to Colin's Twitch where he is sorry, BTR. The O in that is a 0. New episodes of Khyber Shards drop every Monday. New Khyber Shards answers every Friday. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.